Rumors, leaks, hopes, and dreams. Everyone is so darn eager for the next Nintendo Direct. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from Switchforce. Gabe is here, and it's been a while since that Nintendo Direct Mini. It's been a while since that Labo announcement, and we're wondering, when is the new one gonna hit? So today we're giving you 5 reasons why the next Nintendo Direct could be very soon, and 3 reasons why it may not be coming soon at all. First, on the positive side, is the Switch anniversary, Gabe. It's next weekend.
Coming up very, very, very soon here. How awesome would it be just for like a Direct to happen on that day, just to commemorate like the first year of Switch?
It would be amazing. And Nintendo in the past has been very anniversary acknowledging. They like to do things to tie in with their main characters and their main games, so it would make sense to have something to mark the day. I don't know if a Saturday Direct makes a lot of sense. I feel like they have to acknowledge this in some way, whether it's like a montage or whether it's some sort of press release, or I don't know, but it could lead into the second reason why a Direct could be soon, and that is this little tidbit that was discovered about a Kirby Star Allies demo coming on March the 4th. When you search on Google for Kirby Star Allies demo, it came up with a header that said Kirby Star Allies free demo available on Nintendo Switch 3.4, and that linked to the official Kirby site. So this wasn't some random, false link. This did link to Nintendo's Kirby site. And if that's the case, you'd think there would be some sort of show to make this announcement. Granted, it could just come on Twitter, and maybe that's what they have planned for the Switch anniversary is, hey, enjoy our new game demo for this weekend. But it could also be part of something bigger.
Yeah, hopefully that Kirby demo is coming, because I'm excited to play the game myself. I want to see how it is on Switch. But yeah, the thing that I'm apprehensive about, just to go back a little bit, the Saturday Direct thing, I don't see happening. Although, if for some reason it does, what better place to just say, hey, Kirby demo available tomorrow? Like, that's a cool little thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And in general, Nintendo doesn't do demos for their major first-party titles. They have done online tests for things like ARMS and Splatoon 2, but Kirby in the past has gotten a lot of demo love, so this is not out of the realm of possibility. Now, our third reason a Direct could be coming very soon is the continuation of the empty space theory, in that when there's an empty space on that Direct page on Nintendo's Japanese site, usually one hits. Now, there's been an empty space for a while, but it's still there, so, at some point it gets filled, but the fact that it's represented on the website leads me to think it could be sooner rather than later.
Yeah, sadly, I'm beginning to think that this empty space theory is sort of meaningless. Like, yeah, they're probably getting ready because there's a Direct coming of some kind often enough that there's kind of always an empty space, right? The mini Direct sort of filled up the empty space that was there before, and now we have a new one.
Yeah, the mini Direct 20-day theory leading to a major Direct failed, so maybe this is failing us as well. But in general, Gabe, the fourth reason is that it's just been freaking forever. Outside of that mini Direct, we haven't really had a big one for a number of months now. And if you want to take out some of the game specifics, it has been forever since a full-on Direct.
Yes, the last one that I remember before the mini was the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 one, and again, game specific, we maybe don't even count those. It's been such a long time now. The announcements have to be ready. It's just about the size of the announcements and if they save them for something else that we're about to talk about.
Right, the mini was on January 11th, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on November 7th, Animal Crossing Mobile Focus on October 28th, and the last proper Direct was September 13th. So it's been 5 months. Almost 6 months since then, which is quite a while. And that leads us to the fifth reason, which is that there are missing dates and uncertainty in the lineup, even leading up to the halfway point and to E3. We do not know exactly when Mario Tennis Aces is coming. We do not know in the West when Hyrule Warriors is hitting the Switch. So there are some announced games with open dates, and what better place to confirm and continue coverage than that Direct. I don't think Kirby gets any more continued coverage. The game's too close, and it's been discussed and shown since E3 of last year, so it's had its day. We've seen a lot of people say that, hey, Kirby, are they going to say anything about it? But I don't think that's a reason. I do think some of those other games, though, could definitely use a little bit more media.
Yeah, they have one game coming like every month. They like doing that. Mario's coming, Donkey Kong's coming, etc. So I think they do want to supplement that with more releases and another direct for things that aren't as big, maybe nothing like a major announcement wise, but give some dates for some of the indies that still aren't out, right? Like Wargroove still hasn't come out. We have things like Flipping Death that still aren't out. Maybe give us an update on things like that.
Yeah, we just saw that Wargroove is going to be playable at EGX Res. There's a number of other notable indies that do not have specific dates, things like Hollow Knight, and even past titles like Pocket Rumble. So maybe that happens, and we'll let that carry us over to the reasons why there may not be a direct in the near future, and we'll piggyback on that indie thinking and say that a lot of these indie games get announced outside of Nintendo. It seems like every darn day there is a new surprise announcement, whether it's something that we've known before or something entirely brand new. Constant announcements. Now, they're not AAA titles, and they're typically not major third-party partnerships, but there is a steady flow of Switch news and Switch announcements, and maybe Nintendo feels like they're okay taking a backseat personally at this moment.
Yeah, I mean, new software is coming to their platform, so I feel like they have to feel okay with it.
Yeah, we have not had an Indies for a while. If you want to look at last year, there was a Nindies showcase on February 28th, and then an Indies showcase on August 30th. So you're looking at about a 6-month span between those, which would line us up once again for a Nindies showcase. But we did not have this level of, like I said, Twitter announcements, YouTube announcements, live stream announcements. It seems like something is getting surprise revealed at almost every possible moment. So Nintendo could leverage that and say, hey, we're doing okay. They also, Gabe, may want to focus on their immediate lineup and Labo. It's hard to sort of tell how much of a marketing push Nintendo will make for Labo, but I have to imagine it's going to be pretty major. And if you go out and announce, say, a Smash Brothers, where you go and start talking about things farther in the year, maybe it takes away from Kirby Star Allies, maybe it takes away from the Bayonetta 2+1 pack, maybe it takes away from your Hyrule Warriors and your Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze re-releases and your brand new Labo. Perhaps the reason that they're saving so much is that they want to keep the emphasis on what's right in front of us.
Yeah, and we have plenty of things coming up. Sadly, it's nothing incredibly new besides Kirby and Labo. We do have the ports also, so maybe they do want to just keep focused on what they've announced so far, get those things out the door, and then have the big blowout when the time comes and this next topic that we're about to talk about.
Which would be E3, and that is where you're going to let loose the megatons. Now, we know about Kirby, we know about DK, we know about Hyrule Warriors and Mario Tennis Aces and Yoshi. Maybe much of the remainder lineup is so major that it only fits at E3, and perhaps they're saving that kind of a reveal for the big show in June.
So let me ask you a question. Would you rather have a bunch of games announced at E3 or like that are of substance, let's say Smash Brothers, Pikmin, things like that, but nothing like insane, like I'm not talking Pokemon? Or would you rather them get those things out of the way now and then have something like Megaton at E3, such as a Pokemon or, Metroid footage for the first time, something like that?
I think, as of late, we have been seeing more and more companies go to a shorter hype cycle. And for me personally, I'm a fan of that. If the idea is that there is an August game, a September game, an October game, and a November game, Yoshi is one of those, as far as we can tell. Maybe it's July, I don't know, maybe it's June. But we know about Yoshi. If say there's 3 major games from Nintendo for the rest of the year, or even 4, I would much rather have those be at E3. Because the last thing we want is a direct in March that blows the lid off Smash Brothers Switch, that blows the lid off of, I don't know, the Yoshi release date and maybe one other. And then what? You're left with
Fire Emblem.
Fire Emblem and Pokemon. I mean, yeah, that could carry a show, but personally, as a fan of the E3s of yesteryear, where it was just like hit after hit after hit after hit, we've been through some E3s, Gabe, where Nintendo comes out and you're like, what have they been planning? Yeah. What is going on? And I think, when you first launch a system, year one, yes, you need to really lay out that roadmap so people know, hey, this is going to be worthwhile to buy and be a part of for the long haul. But now with so many sales, now with so many indies, now with a decent, at least from Nintendo lineup leading into E3, maybe they feel that they have sort of laid enough groundwork that they can go in and say, hey, we've talked about, Bayonetta 3. People know Dark Souls Remastered is coming. You got this Mario Tennis Aces and Hyrule Warriors and Tropical Freeze. Yoshi. Maybe they feel like, hey, we want to just wow everyone with a really big presentation and take advantage of that media just giant exposition and really blow out there, because they do have other things to focus on. They do have the Kirbys and the Labos that are going to take part of their time, part of their dollars. And if you're going to be pimping out Labo in April, I don't think it makes sense to have like Smash sort of overshadowing that or something, like that. To me, as much as I love a Direct, I can totally see why Nintendo would want to save what they've got.
Yeah, I agree. I think part of it is smart. The entire attention of the video game industry is in that week at E3. It's like Christmas for people that like video games, so I can see Nintendo wanting to have their giant announcements for then.
Right, and what I will say I'm all for is either another Nindy showcase or a third-party focused Direct. I think either of those would be incredibly awesome and incredibly smart, because those are areas that Nintendo can utilize to showcase why the system is worth the money and why it's going to be a major player throughout the year. Third-party announcements, especially ports, is not something that's really going to wow you at E3. Now, if it's Call of Duty or something, yes, they're going to save that for June. But if it's, bringing things along the lines of Dark Souls Remastered or Dragon Ball FighterZ, get that out the way. And if it's getting dates for things like Wargroove and Pocket Rumble and Hollow Knight, get that out the way. So I'm all on board for that. And personally, I would bet on another Direct before E3, but I do not think it's Nintendo-focused.
Yeah, same. I think another Nindies thing would be great, honestly. I know people are starting to become wary of all the indies on Switch, but I personally love it. So many of these games were fantastic. Celeste is a great example. If we can get games of that caliber on the console, I'm all for it, even if they don't come from Nintendo.
Yeah, and it is a very solid way to continue to have that content machine grinding away. And for the most part, each week there is something really cool. So for all the duds and all the another side-scrolling pixel art, there's still plenty of gems. And I think right now, if you want to take the approach that third parties are still prepping and waiting, then that's what you need to do. And so another Nindies Direct seems like it would be spot on. Let us know what you think, though. Is a Direct on the horizon? Will we be waiting for more announcements till E3? How do you feel about the 5 reasons why it could be soon? That Switch anniversary, Kirby's possible demo, the empty space theory, it's been freaking forever, and the missing dates and the uncertainty of the already announced lineup? Or are you more on team with the insane amount of announcements that are outside of Nintendo proper? The focus on the immediate lineup and Labo in April, and then the fact that E3 is technically looming and they want to save majority of their magic for that show. Give us your take in the comments down below, everybody. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/theswitchforce to talk more. We've got a Discord now, so we'll link to that in the description for the first time ever. And until next time, for myself and Gabe, thanks so much for watching. Switch Force out.